Hello, selamat datang to Southeast Asia, a Sayoni event. A number of people here won't know that I've been a Sayoni girl since 2006, actually. And today, I'd really like to welcome all of you guys to coming to this talk about LGBT issues and culture in Southeast Asia. I mean, it feels like this year, usually IndigNation, we're only, caring about our own country, about national issues. But this year, we're very capable. Like yesterday, got some of people go and punch out the Russians, right? Yeah, you go read their Facebook statuses. Your boyfriend very shameful, right? Yeah, your boyfriend also very shameful. And today we're talking about LGBT issues in Southeast Asia. And I'm really, when we were planning this, we thought like, okay, how many people are going to turn up? Let's put this in select. We can do this in a small venue like Select Books. Then we realized, okay, we've got 80-something people signing up on Facebook. Let's move it somewhere where people can actually breathe. And here we are somewhere where we can breathe. I'm going to start off talking about the history and current and sort of a country by country look at what's happening in Southeast Asia now, and then Jean is going to be talking about what's the kind of the international activism that she and to a lesser extent I have been involved in. And we've actually decided this is going to be a really informal event. If you have a weird question or if you have a comment that you'd like to contribute, shout it out. Put up your hand and shout it out, because neither of us are absolute experts about the area, about what we're talking about. Some of you will know a lot more, especially about specific cases of Southeast Asian countries than we do. But before we start talking about Southeast Asian issues, we should talk about next slide. What is Southeast Asia? The term Southeast Asia only started getting regularly used around the time of the Vietnam War as an American term for foreign policy. So it's, but later it was embraced by at least some of us because we decided to found ASEAN. Speaking of ASEAN, the founding members, I believe, were Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and Thailand only. And since then, we've got all these 10 countries. And we've got the 10 countries, listed on, shown on the map here, except for, East Timor. Jean just explained to me the reason why East Timor is not yet a member of ASEAN is because Singapore keeps on blocking them. Because we don't like poor people, we're poor, small, rich, small like Brunei can, poor, small like East Timor cannot. Yeah, they're terrible. But really, it's kind of weird to talk about any kind of Southeast Asian identity, right? Because not only we got different races, we got different colors, but we also have different religions. We have we have Christians, we have Buddhists, we have Hindus in Bali, we have Muslims. We've got a hell of a lot of Muslims. We also have, and not only did we have different colonial masters, we had the British, we had the Portuguese, we had the, Vietnam had the Chinese, we had and the Dutch in Indonesia, but we've also, we also have wildly different political systems, wildly. We've got everything from, a communist state in Laos and Vietnam to an absolute monarchy in Brunei. And of course, an anarchic democracy in Indonesia and Philippines, which is and yet in spite of these, we can see certain threads running through from the past, because we've always been, in island Southeast Asia we call it Nusantara, we're sort of in between islands. We've been an area for trade between between the Arab world, between India, between China, and later with Europe, a place where different cultures meet and exchange goods and ideas. We've always been a place where things get exchanged, where things are fluid. And we are also, and in more recent times, we found that ASEAN has helped to unify us. The fact that we have this governing group that links us actually makes us go, a little more inclined to when we're at an event today, like, hey, hi, Thailand, and since right now we're in Ouagadougou, we're in Stockholm, you are my brother. Okay, but enough about what's Southeast Asia. There's also this question that Jean wanted me to said that you guys would really want to know. Like, next slide. Why Southeast Asia? Like, why should you care about about something greater than Singapore? Well, okay, when Jean mentioned this to me during the meeting, I thought of 3 reasons. Reason the first, click. Scope. Look, Southeast Asia is bloody big. Okay, we campaigned for Russia. Russia is 143.4 million people. Southeast Asia is, it's just so many people that we have an opportunity to interact with and influence. And the fact is, there is influence. The fact is that we are watching what we do mutually. We found that the rest of Southeast Asia is watching Singapore's pink dot. We are also assuming looking into each other's norms to look to our future. And the third reason, it's because it's because Southeast Asia is bloody fun. I mean, this is the reason why this place is backpacker paradise for because not only do we have this wonderful diversity of people and cultures and food, we also have really fun, welcoming people in pretty much every Southeast Asian country. Even Singapore, if you look at the right places. Actually, before I go into history, I think I want to do my whole beauty pageant thing. Whoever can guess. Want to guess where the different parts of my costume today are from?
Myanmar.
Which part is from Myanmar?
The skirt.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot. This thing is from Myanmar. I've forgotten the name of it, but I got it in January. Anything else?
Philippines.
What's from the Philippines?
Your shirt.
I've got a is it Barong Tagalog? Yeah, okay. And anything else? My scarf is from Cambodia. It's not checkered because I lost the checkered one. Yes, but it's my scarf is from Cambodia and my t-shirt is from Bali. Because someone said batik was too hair cliched. My scarf is very hot.
As are you.
Good one.
Okay, so officially today we were supposed to talk about activism, but being a history nerd, I said I want to try and find time and get an excuse to talk about our roots, our history, and I found that it's actually quite hard to find. On first glance, we feel like there really isn't very much gay and lesbian history in Southeast Asia. What there is in abundance, however, is transgender history. Next slide. That lady over there is Crispulo Pulong Luna, a bakla or a transgender woman from the Philippines who lived from 1903 to 1976. And it's easy, when we travel, it's easy to see that transgender cultures are very deeply entrenched in lots of places in Southeast Asia. I've mentioned the different words for M2F transgender people in different parts of Southeast Asia. There are a lot of places where there are FTM norms as well. For example, in Myanmar, it's called it's Lao Chasha, or for F2M transgender men. Yeah, and of course within Indonesia they've got us a lot of words which are more specific. And of course in Singapore we have a number of words for transgender people which are more native, but which aren't necessarily very complimentary. But the fact is that they are words which come from deeply within our cultures. You know, they're not transliterations like homosex or gay or lesbian or tomboy. In fact, and this goes back a long way. In fact, we found medieval texts of the Lanat kingdom in northern Thailand actually describe the creation of earth and the three genders, Puri, Ithi, and Nupomsaka, believed to be men, women, and other. Some people translate this as homosexuals, but between men and women, it's a good chance it's also transgender people. And yeah, of course, in a lot of cases we know that these people are, they're associated with the sex trade, but of course that's not the only trade. I mean, in fact, even in Malaysia, there used to be a tradition of transgender makyong troops, a kind of opera. And of course, a lot of us who have traveled will know that there's also a tradition of a lot of transgender culture with spiritual traditions. Next slide, please. Yeah, let's see. There's a quote I found on the net. I think it's from Michael Pelletz, who studies Indonesia. He said, "During the modern era and before, religious traditions in Southeast Asia were profoundly dualistic, recognizing both male and female divine presences. And because of this, both male and female elements were needed to be present to give power and effect. How do you get both male and female elements together in the most efficient way possible? You get someone who doesn't, conform to, male and female tradition. And so what we see is, all of you will know Bugis Street, but not all of us will know about the actual Bugis people of Sulawesi. And it's amazing because, they're a Muslim, they've been Muslim for hundreds of years. And yet, while also having these Muslim kingdoms and being famed for their piracy, they also had these concepts that there are 5 genders. There are the Orane, the men, as we know, Makumrai, women, Chalalai, male to female transgender, Chalabai, female to male, and the Bisu, the sacred transgender people. The sacred transgender, it's a little, it condenses it a little more because there were, in fact, non-transgender Bisu. But these were the bodyguards of the king. They were able to work